Hi, Kiran. Welcome to Soul in the Game podcast. I am super excited, and this has been a long pending due podcast that we were going to have. So, this is going to be exciting conversation.
Thank you so much for having me. Soul in the game. Actually, my question to you, what is the soul in the game?
We will figure out as we talk.
Okay. I'm going to be patient and let's hear about that soul in the game part.
Yes, sure, we'll do that. First of all, for the audience who have never heard of you, which I'm pretty doubtful, probably everybody knows Kiran Vedantam.
Oh, thank you.
But if somebody is new and they've never heard of you, how would you describe yourself to them?
The description of Kiran Vedantam changes every so often, so it's so confusing. There was a time wherein I was a software engineer at Intel, and that was my identity. Then it transitioned into becoming a passionate real estate investor, helping a lot of my friends and family build wealth in real estate. Then I became an author. I wrote this book, Cracking the Code to Success, so I was known as an author. Then I became a speaking champion in Arizona. Then I became known as a speaker. So it's like jack of all trades, and I'm yet to master anything that I touch. So that's where my journey is.
I am doubtful of that, Kiran, but yeah, let's keep going. We'll let the audience decide as well as we talk. You brand yourself with why, right? Wealth, happiness, and you. So why is that why, and where did that come from?
I remember when I first got my license in real estate.
Yeah.
Gary Keller, he is the owner of Keller Williams. It's a huge company. The first year that I got into real estate, I became one of the top producers in the state. And then I got invited to meet Gary Keller because they were trying to recruit me into the Keller Williams system. So Gary, obviously he's a multimillionaire, maybe a billionaire at that point of time. And then I was with him at lunch. They arranged a lunch for me with him. And he asked me, what is your why? Like, why do you do what you're doing? Like, why are you working so hard trying to be the top real estate broker in Arizona? And I was really shocked because I had no idea.
That you were the top one? Or
I had no idea why I'm working so hard.
That's the best part.
So that's why when he asked, what's the why? Then I asked him more clarifying question as to, what do you mean I'm working hard for my family to make money? Because that was the only thing that was in my head. But then I have come to realize that really what I was looking for is happiness, satisfaction, along with wealth, and it was just not wealth. So I realized my why is wealth, happiness, and you means improving ourselves, right? So being a why seeker is how, that was a brand that I really put together. So that's where it all started, and it is applicable for many of us actually, wherein we get blindsided either with our own profession and we ignore our relationships or we ignore our health. But it's actually a three-legged stool. Mm-hmm. WHY. You need wealth, you need happiness, and you need to improve yourself so that you like yourself.
I think it's a double-edged sword or very smart move, but because it applies to the clients as well. When you say why, I am relating it to me. You're helping me create wealth, and happiness, because who doesn't want to live in a nice, comfortable home? And you're prioritizing your client, is what I am perceiving, right? I
come in with the intention to improve your life, be it wealth, be it happiness, and be it improving yourself.
Right.
So it so happens, now we've been in business for over 20 years. People who bought their first home, now some of them, their kids are buying homes, and they're also utilizing our services, right? So they know that we help them because of our relationship. We enrich them in helping them build more wealth, or bringing some kind of value into their life. It's so funny. One of the families, they are going through a divorce, right? They are splitting. Wife and husband agreed that they have to use our services to sell their house, and both of them agreed to use our services to buy their new homes also. So that for me is a big deal, because real estate agents are a dime a dozen, right? Everybody who can get a license can become a real estate agent. But our unique offering is we being able to provide much more than a transactional end towards it. So it's more like the relationship is what we thrive on. And that's what it is. Like you and me met through Ashish, a common friend. And
Kiran.
and Kiran, and we helped so many of Ashish's friends. And he refers me to so many people. It's all because of people building trust,
Yes.
knowing that he's just not a real estate agent. If you have mortgage issue, or if you have any other financial issue, or if you want to invest into something, he's going to provide a solution. And that's what I feel adds the most value to families.
Yes. And indirectly, now I think about it, I think you helped us buy our house as well.
Nice. Yes.
Through Kiran. So I'm just connecting the dot right now as we are talking.
Yeah.
How do you define, you said something about relationship building, and there are a lot of real estate agents. Like, how do you define yourself in that niche area? What is special about it?
See, the biggest, what I have learned is people would love to do business with people that they trust. So being in real estate would not really bring any value add that you can really stand out. Because our skill set is probably at par with probably the top real estate agents of the country. And how we present our services is all it matters. And then how we follow through and how we are able to double down and compound the leverage that we have with the first transaction. Most of our clients who start never end with one transaction. They invariably end up using our services time and time and time again. And that's one of the metrics that I would say would stand out. If you compare any other average mortgage lender or a real estate broker,
Right.
they probably do one transaction and they even forget the real estate agent's name. And it doesn't, I wouldn't say it doesn't, but it rarely happens in our case, because once you are in our inner circle, we'll always do business.
Right. And you moved from, because we are talking about Kiran here, you're Kiran and your wife's name is also Kiran. And
Yeah.
the friends we are talking about, they are also Kiran. So you were Kiran and Kiran Reality, right?
Yes,
And you
yes.
moved from that name to Kosh. Am I
Yes.
pronouncing it right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. What made you move from that? Because it's a branding, family branding name. Why did you diverge? Like, do you have a bigger agenda, bigger picture, bigger vision?
That's a terrific question. See, we branded our company on my name, and what happened was, as we grew to about 20 agents at one point of time. And then some of the agents that gave me feedback that, hey, it's your company's name, and each of these other agents in my office, they are also independent contractors, so they want to get their own business. And they said, hey, why don't you make it a generic name so that it will be more generic and we can grow easily. And then it also happened to me that we started to realize that some of the big high net worth clients that are walking into our door to do business with our company, they always wanted to talk to Kiran. While I know that some of my team members are really very good, but still they wanted to overstep them and come and talk to Kiran. So then I have realized that to build a brand, it has to be neutral and not have my name, especially at a juncture wherein we are looking to do bigger and better things. I want to be able to hand off this company at a place wherein it's ready to grow.
Okay.
And that was the intent, but still the infrastructure is the same, the people behind it are the same,
Right.
and we just rebranded it as Kosh Realty and Kosh Loans because we are also doing mortgages.
Okay. Awesome. I want to move from there. You earlier asked me about why soul in the game. So I think this is a time I can answer that question. It's because I want to bring out the essence of passion that is in everyone, right? And especially people who have gone through, fought difficulties, or figured out a way to fight off the questions, confusions they get in the life, and also come out successfully the other end. We all do eventually, I think, and this is a platform that I want to use to bring out that essence and then inspire people through storytelling. With that, I would like to go back to your original days before Kiran was a realtor, right? You were moved to US, or you came here as a student, and you were an engineer, and your dream job was Intel, which is a common household name in Arizona. How did that feel like initially, before you didn't even know you're going to be a realtor, right? How was that Kiran before, the Intel Kiran, before he became realtor Kiran?
That's a great question. I had a very, very conventional life.
Right.
And the way my parents and the environment was, I really became good at being good at the system, in the sense that for me, the definition of success was, okay, hey, you get high grades in college, or hey, you get to US because that was a hot thing then.
Right.
Then you get hired to the best company, right? So my definition of success with my limiting beliefs was always, okay, that is what we want and that is what I will get. And I was successful somehow in getting to it.
Right. Being the engineer,
being the
US.
conventional role.
Yeah.
But then the realization is something that kicks in later, wherein you realize that is not what really life is about, or that is not
right.
what really feeds my soul.
Is it after you achieve it, or is it as closer you get to it, or when did that realization hit you?
See, the realization hit me after all our needs are satisfied financially. So after I worked, me and my wife, we both were working at Intel. We both were having good salary. Our mortgages are getting paid. There is a lot of money sitting in savings account. And that's where I realized, okay, this is it. This is it. Like, you just earn money, save money, and that's it. You keep on working, is when it really kicked in.
Right.
So if your question is how I used to be, for me, I thought that is success.
Right.
I thought getting promotion year after year is success.
Yeah.
Working at Intel and having my identity as an engineer at Intel is success. And that's how I was. There is nothing wrong with it, but I realized that there could be more to it, is when the realization started to kick in.
And you feel not somewhat, I can't say happy, but it's just that uncomfortable, like you're hungry still. Was that the feeling, or was it like you were more curious?
No, I mean, what happened was, I should tell you a small event that happened when I was at Intel. First is, when I first joined Intel, like the first day of Intel, they give you this tour, the orientation, and there were these walls in the cafeteria with all patents. There were like maybe 3,000 patents, and you see all these guys' names, and some of them were people who went to ASU, some of them I know in the community. And I thought, wow, man, I was so happy with myself that I'm in the company of this great people, and them having patents is like, I was like, I felt so successful, right? And then a few weeks later, one of the managers, we've had like all hands meeting and all that, and one of the managers who was supposed to drive the meeting in a couple of hours dropped dead in his chair at Intel. So when he dropped dead in his chair, I mean, it was around 11 o'clock in the morning, and then they called 911. So the guy, they tried to do some first aid, but then he was dead already.
Wow.
And our meeting was around 2 o'clock.
Okay.
So me watching the manager die in a cubicle at Intel, I thought the meeting at 2 o'clock will be cancelled, because back in school, that's how it was. If
Yeah.
somebody dies, the school is holiday.
Yeah. And also it's a sad event, right?
Correct.
You have to give respect or, yeah,
Correct.
take time.
But the reality is, come 2 o'clock, somebody else ran the meeting. So that was like a pivotal moment for me, wherein my head spun. Man, we are at the premium company, and then all this is happening. This guy died, still nothing happened. So the world kept on moving. So nothing against Intel or the situation, but that's how the capitalistic world is, right?
America, corporate America.
Corporate America is. And that's when the realization kicked in, saying, okay, if I die in my cubicle, and if nothing happens, even if they don't have a holiday that day, then I figured it's not, maybe there is something else for me. Maybe I want to have a holiday where I die. So that's what I thought. It was so naive,
wow.
but that's how it started.
No, that hit you deeply. I can see that the impact, because where we come from, it's like compassion, empathy. We are deeply connected with death, and we take time to grieve as well, right? So seeing that in corporate America, it's must have been shocking. And but at a very young age, I'm assuming you were not in your mid.
Yeah, I was a recent college grad,
Yeah,
so yeah,
right.
I was not a baby by any means, but I was a young adult, and all those are like trigger points for us, right? So all these trigger points
makes you question.
and
yeah.
for a lot of us, it's difficult to come out of a situation or a comfortable position that we are in.
Yeah.
And I was so comfortable at Intel.
So what made you question them? Like, I can see that started making you question, but I'm sure it wasn't like that moment, oh, realtor, becoming a realtor is the path. Or how was that pivot from the engineering? Because that probably was the pivotal moment, as you said, and you started questioning. But to go into this direction, why did you see yourself in this as a realtor? As you could have been something else.
Yeah, see, always the confidence was, okay, can I add value
Yeah.
to where I am?
Right.
So being a real estate agent or a mortgage broker just happens to be something that I became.
Okay.
But the real crux of it is, hey, can I add value with what I can bring to the table, and still people will let me sit on the table with them.
Right.
So that's what happened. And then because we had a lot of real estate investments, I was investing in land that time, we were buying apartment complexes. So it was very natural for us to get into real estate. But that was never a destination. Even now it's not a destination. It's just something that we do, and then we see people respect us for what we bring. And if I can discover something else wherein I can add more value, then I'll do it. But anybody can be a real estate agent for that matter, right? There is really not, it's not such a big deal to overcome that bottleneck. But what really stands apart is how much value are people perceiving in what you bring to the table. And I was very confident. More than me, my wife was extremely confident that I can do it. And then she's the one who really told me that, okay, if you're having all these thoughts about doing other stuff, then you should quit Intel, resign and see what's out there.
So did you both quit Intel at the same time, or did you quit first and then?
She quit first.
Oh, okay.
She quit first, and then I quit later.
Nice. How was that risk taking? Because did you have kids then or not yet?
No, we didn't have kids at that time.
Okay.
So the way it happened was, my niece, my niece, we had to pick her up from the daycare.
Okay.
and help the family. She was a baby. She was hardly 2 weeks when they had to put her at the daycare. And during those days, there was no work from home or any of that options, right? Since we were picking her up in the evening, like around 5:30 in the evening, wherein I was hungry myself and we had to pick up this baby. I never had kids and it was so challenging for me to learn how to do the car seat and all that. And then that was the second trigger point for us, saying that, okay, if you are going to have kids, then we would never put them in daycare. That was like the strong desire. Not that there is anything wrong with doing it, but we were very passionate about thinking, okay, we should make it so that we'll not put our kids in the daycare. So that was a big drive for us. So before even my wife was pregnant, so she resigned Intel, and then it's history after that.
Yeah. I can see that. It's how that thought process would have evolved. Many people, we think about it, but we don't take action, I think. I think taking action is the secret sauce, right? And it's a risky too, because one, your partner may not be on board with that. One person on board, the other person not, then you're, going back and forth there.
Yeah, it's more complicated than that. I mean, first is you need to be crazy to be quitting Intel job, right?
Yeah.
Crazy and naive.
For sure.
So I was both. I was crazy, I was naive. And then on top of it, what happened was we were able to buy a lot of land during those days. Like when I was at Intel, they were giving 0% down loans. And my friends, everybody thought I was crazy. I was just signing up for land. We bought like tracts and tracts, acres and acres in Buckeye and all these places. And then I was able to flip and sell, and we made money hand over fist. So that was a buffer for us. So me and my wife thought, okay, we made as much as we would have earned working at Intel for next 6 years, both of us put together. So that was good enough money in those days. And our plan was, okay, let's have kids, and then let's make sure that they don't go to a babysitter. First 6 years, we are going to take care of them. And then we'll go back to Intel or we'll find another job. So that was the mindset that we had. So unless you have that buffer or the takeoff cushion, it's very hard to make that choice. So to give everybody else credit, if you didn't make any investments, or if you don't feel financially secure, it will be very hard to get support from the other spouse or for yourself. You worked so hard going to college, getting a job.
Yeah.
So we got lucky that way.
Right.
And then it just worked out like that.
Yeah. How was your first transaction? Do you remember?
Yeah.
Was your first family whom you helped? And then how did you feel? Because that's a special moment, right? That's when you feel confident. You're taking a risk.
See, honestly, the way I do my transactions is first people become my friends. Then we do transaction.
Okay.
Transaction happens to be like an afterthought, kind of.
So you already established a relationship.
Even now, when I meet like strangers who come to do transaction, they become friends like right away.
Right.
And then I tend to understand where they are coming from, and I try to sync up with their frequency. And there are times, rarely, wherein I don't feel the vibe that they are on the same page with me. And then I just defer it to one of my team members.
Sure. But now you know all that. You have 20 years of experience. The Kiran back then didn't, right? That first...
Yes, one of the first transactions, he was a friend at Intel, and he was always asking for advice and, hey, how do you invest in land? How do you invest in apartments? And we've already done it for many years. So I explained to him how to do it. Then he said, can you help me buy it? And that's when I got my license, actually. So I had my client before I got my license. So he said, I'm going to wait for you to finish your tests, and then I want to buy my homes only through you.
Wow.
So that's how it happened.
Awesome.
So I was served with a silver spoon there.
That's organic business growth. That's how I think many successful businesses start as well.
Especially these service-based businesses like being in mortgage or real estate or insurance. All these service-based businesses, you can scale really good if you are very organic and you base it on referral.
Yeah.
So we do our business on referral mainly.
Right.
We rarely get any leads from outside internet sources or something. So it's all referral.
Next, I want to move into your community education. You focus a lot on educating the community, right? Did you start as soon as you got into this business or in this work, or did that also happen later, like slowly, because you said you already had knowledge and you were sharing so much information? Was that part of the process that organically grew as well? Community engagement or education, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, three things, right? First is, for me, teaching comes very naturally. Like if I understand something, it's a complicated topic, but I can make it so simple that I can make like an 8-year-old understand what the concept is. So first I need to understand, and then I can double down and simplify it. So that is my strength. And the second strength that I have is I can build trust with people. And what I have come to realize early in my career is the way to build trust is when you don't hold anything. You don't hold back anything. Like whatever you learn, whatever you know about it, you just give it off completely.
Can you give
free.
an example of that?
Like, for example, buying homes in auctions, right? Buying homes in auctions is a very, very complicated, it is made to look super complicated that a common man cannot even imagine buying a home at an auction. I bought many homes through auction, and I helped a lot of my clients buy homes through auction. So if I tell somebody, if somebody comes in and says, hey, explain to me how the auctions work, I can simply tell them, hey, this is the list that you can go to the Maricopa courthouse, you get the list, and then you show up there to the auction in the room, and then you bid on it. And once you bid on it, you just bring cash, give it to them, they'll give you the house. It's as simple as that, right? So all these community awareness things is what I love to teach people on how you do stuff. But the reality of the matter is, most people think that, hey, he's giving out information because he has a hidden agenda of whatever. We don't have any hidden agenda when we are doing these community events. But it's very natural for people to see us. They start to trust us, and if they'll end up doing business with us is what I found. So it's a win-win for us. Like, we are going to educate people, even if people come to us or not, that's fine. If they come to us, they already know us, they build the trust.
Right.
If they don't come to us, it's fine. At least we are changing somebody's life.
Yes. So, I mean, my personal interaction with you, right? Although I knew you are a real realtor, successful realtor. And when we met, or when I met you first time in Mexico, when we were celebrating Ashish's birthday, it was, I think it was not at all related to anything about the houses, nothing, right? We're going to go for a walk on the beach, everybody, and just explore. And you were with your drone at that time. You were learning to fly drones, I think. And you were very excited about it, and you wanted to take a lot of videos and pictures of people or the celebration itself. And I also enjoy videography. So I think that's how we started talking. And I was doing yoga, and you helped me take a really nice yoga video. So
that video came so good, right?
I got so many compliments on that.
Good.
So that trust as you were talking about, it is just that the curiosity to learn or to understand something that you're interested in, right? And you willing to share. And you just took the videos and you started sharing as well, not just mine, but other people and everybody else's that you have taken. So I think that trust you're talking about, I can relate to that. And it's natural. It's not like you have any hidden agenda there.
Right.
So now I pitched a podcast or podcast idea to you. And then you were open. You were like, yeah, let's do it.
Yes.
So I was really surprised. I was taken back, like, wow, you're super busy. And you're agreeing to come and talk and just have a discussion. And I didn't expect at all, like it will actually happen one day. And I almost like, okay, he must be busy. Kiran will be busy. I don't want to bother him. But you kept asking me, when are we doing the podcast? So
Yes. No. I think the case in point with that example that you said, right? You communicated your passion about having your podcast and picking people's brain and all that, and then there was no hidden agenda for you, right?
No.
So for me also, I like drones. I like flying drones. It's like a hobby, and I learned how to fly drones myself. And my friend Prashant, he likes to fly drones, and we both fly together. He teaches me a lot of stuff, and then I end up teaching so many people how to fly a drone. So there is no hidden agenda. Even at Rocky Point in Mexico, some of the guys came to me and said, hey, which drone I should buy? And we were helping them, and they wanted to fly the drone, and we taught them. So that's an example of how, as a community, we can come together, teach each other, and inspire each other. And that's what I feel fascinated about. One of the reasons after I quit Intel is I like mentoring people on what they want to do. So, like for example, I volunteer and teach at the high school. So it has really no financial benefit to us, but the feeling that you get when you are involved in the community and see other people outside our family.
Right.
It changes our perspective on how we are.
And you have no idea you're adding value in their life that we can't measure.
Yeah, I mean, some employees who worked with us almost like 12, 13 years ago, suddenly they walk into them at the mall and all that. They worked when they were like in their 16, 17 years old. Now they are older. They said, hey, Kiran, they hugged me and they said, I worked for you that time and all that. And all that is an impact that we create as we live, right?
Nice.
So all that really matters. When I say community, all this is important. Creating jobs, teaching people what we know, and then making sure that they understand that there is help and support for them about what they want to achieve.
Right. I want to ask you about real estate, in real estate itself, something that many people would think is not the right way to do, or not in the formula, but then you think it's the way, it's one of the way and only the way it works for you, and majority may disagree with. What would that be?
Yeah, and there are many examples. Like for example, we do commercial real estate. Commercial real estate, if you read all the news and any commercial magazine, you'll see that office market is collapsing. That's what you read. Offices, because hey, after COVID, companies don't need big offices. They're all collapsing. They're becoming small.
Right.
So a lot of offices are empty, is what you hear. But what we've done is we purchased distressed office assets and we converted them so that they are smaller and they are easier to rent, and we were able to stabilize them and sell them. So that if you ask any traditional real estate model, they'll say, okay, stay away from office.
Okay.
After COVID is where it started, that stay away from office, but we were able to successfully turn them around.
Right.
So that's one example. There are even examples in residential market. They'll say, oh, there is no money in fixing and flipping properties anymore. But we've done it time and again, wherein we buy a property in distress, we remodel it, and we sell it.
It probably is that's your language, right? That you already are aware. Probably for somebody new or somebody who's getting into it to become a realtor, then it may be challenging for them to understand that.
I mean, thank you, but at the same time, I know that there is no rocket science to that. And it's just that some people, I take a little bit of risk. But what is the worst case that's going to happen? I'm going to be owner of another asset, and then if I ride the wave enough, it's going to come back. We know that. So yeah, that's the kind of mental frame I have.
Confidence, I think, and probably believing in self that okay, I'll figure it out.
Yeah. I think that is very important for anybody, for that matter.
Yeah.
If you don't feel confident, then you'll not be able to even move your finger into anything new.
No.
Because you're comfortable. Like for example, I'm sitting comfortable in this sofa, even though I know that it's going to be so comfortable going there and sitting in that chair.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go because I feel comfortable and I don't want to take a chance.
Right. Before recording this, today I usually arrive 30 minutes before and then set up everything and then get everything ready before the guest comes. Today there was a traffic jam and there was a crash and there was a road repair going on, everything together, right? So I was super late. I was almost cutting it super tight. I only had 10 minutes before I set up
You
everything.
did a good job.
No, the thing is, I started panicking in the car. And then as we are speaking about trusting yourself or believing in yourself, I had to just tell myself, I'll figure it out. It's okay. Worst come to worst, I'll ask Kiran to just, wait for like 10 minutes and he'll be fine.
Yeah.
So I think that it's a small thing. It's not a big risk. It's a very small example compared to what probably millions of dollars of risk that you would take. But I think it's a good example just to bring.
Just to add to it, right? We underestimate the power of community because everybody around us want to help us.
Yeah.
They want us to be successful in what we sign up for.
Right.
It's just that we need to be able to ask them help and seek their support.
Right.
And even in this case, right, let's say, even if I'm not the speaker, let's say you're not ready and the speaker will say, okay, how can I help set it up? Or I can wait until you're done. So nothing would happen.
Yeah.
But it is not worthwhile for anybody to really go through the anxiety or stress of what their goal
Right.
is to achieve.
Yes.
And your example is a good example for them to take out of saying that, okay, you just have to trust yourself and then
Yeah.
give it time.
And as you walked in, your first question was, how can I help?
Oh, that's what I said?
Yes, you
Okay.
did. And I felt so good. I'm like, okay, good. I don't need to explain anything.
I asked hoping you'll not ask me for help because I had no idea how this equipment works.
You've flown drones, Kiran, so this shouldn't
this should
be,
easier
easier.
than drones, yeah.
Yeah. Next one I want to ask you about is, have you ever, you've kind of, with your, whatever you've explained, I know the answer to this, but I want to ask you so I hear more clearly and match it to what my thought process is. Have you ever made any decision out of fear? Because you're betting money on something, right? Especially when you are cutting it short, when you don't have a lot of leverage, right? And fear is a natural thing. It's there to protect us. It's not something we should be fearful of, the fear. But I'm sure probably you would have had that feeling of fear, right? Or how do you navigate that? And how is your mental model change?
Yes. I mean, my lesson to myself is trust your gut, because I can give you this example. I don't know if you know Makutu's Island.
Yes.
Right behind it, now we own pretty much the complex.
You're the owner of Makutu's
Yes,
Island, right?
Yes. Yeah. So there was a building in the corner that came up for sale. And that time we only owned one building. And then my vision was, okay, we are going to buy each building there in the complex. That was my vision, right? So this building came on the market. We made an offer on it. And then we were in escrow. That means that we need to close in the next 30 days. That time, market was in tatters, in the sense that nothing was moving at all. So I consulted few other friends asking their opinion, should I buy this or not? And they all told me not to buy it. And I didn't end up buying it. So when I backed out, I lost almost like $75,000 on that one transaction. And then I had to wait for 5 years before that same building came back on the market, and I paid $300,000 more. So my net balance sheet is $375,000 less because I trusted other people than myself and my knowledge and my research. So that might not be true all the time.
Is it?
But
yeah.
I think everybody has to trust their gut and then give me more weightage to what they feel and how they feel
Right.
that it should be done, because we need to get everybody's opinion, but when it comes to decision, we have to trust our gut, our experience, and not undermine it.
Right.
That was a lesson I learned. Yeah.
Intuition or the
Yes.
judgment that you, but you can go wrong, right? Like initially, not later on. I would say maybe as that when we're talking about fear, initially when you're beginning, you're still doubting because you don't know the landscape enough. Because earlier you said you were naive and crazy, which probably you could take that risk.
Yeah. No, I think there is this concept called imposter syndrome.
Right.
I don't know
Yes.
if you heard
Yes,
about
of
that.
course.
So the
I'm an
imposter
example.
syndrome.
Yeah.
See, I think with the amount of resources that we have access to right now, 2026, you have access to Claude, you have ChatGPT, you have so much of resources in your hand. I feel you have everything that you need to take risks and make a decision.
Yeah.
So there is no ambiguity anywhere. This is the best time in our entire lifetime wherein you can do that. So you don't have any excuse for not knowing it, not being aware about it, or not projecting it. You can ask Claude exactly, hey, I'm planning to buy this building. Should I buy it? What will happen? Worst case? What is the best case? Then Claude will say, hey, worst case, you'll have to file bankruptcy.
Yeah.
Okay, they are not going to put me in jail, so then you buy it.
Right.
So
Right.
things like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it helps the audience, but I feel we are at a juncture wherein we have nothing to fear.
No, that's
All your fears
yeah.
can be addressed ahead of time.
Ahead of time. Yeah. We're almost ending to it. I know it's very fast. I feel like is it already time? But
Yeah.
we do need to unfortunately wrap up. Is there something that I didn't ask you that you would like to explain or talk about?
I wanted to tell you, I got my book here and I wanted to give it to you.
Oh wow!
It says Cracking the Code to Success.
Okay.
But all the ideas that we talked about in that have changed because success itself changed. Like what I thought success would be during that time of my career is different from what actually success should be. I used to think success means, okay, earning money and having your independent life and all that. But I now know that it's different. But at least it's a book that I wrote and I wanted you to enjoy that. So the second thing that I wanted to say is there is so many similarities that I found in different careers that I had, right? Like for example, real estate and people are totally different.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of commonality and that's how I kind of learn. Like every property that I have purchased or I have seen has some problem, just like people.
Yep.
And how we navigate the problem is how we price the property, and how we are able to alleviate the problem is how the value of the property goes up. Same as people. You need to improve yourself, and then the more you improve, the more the problems that we have as a person that we reduce, our value goes up.
Yes.
And how we are going to contribute. And another thing is, regardless of how good of an investor you are, because I've met very, very savvy real estate investors, there comes a time wherein the market crushes your ego. So as people, we need to also make sure our ego is under control, and that's what I learned from real estate to life. And I'm thinking your title of your podcast, really, when it says soul, always I'm trying to look for how to clean up our soul and make sure that we are going to get inspiration from everything around us.
Right. So nicely said, Kiran. Thank you. And thank you for the book. I look forward to going through it. As it reminds me of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Oh, yeah.
The setup. So
The setup, yeah.
yeah, I'll put this picture in the thing. So
Oh,
thank
you. Thank
Very
you.
nice.
I loved your setup, Soumya.
Thank you.
All this so professional and
This is from Mesa Studios, Mesa's city. So I just use their.
it's great. So you edit your podcast yourself?
I do.
Okay.
I do everything
Good.
myself.
That's amazing. So hope the audience finds some inspiration and entertainment also in the work that I contributed for your
Yeah,
podcast today.
definitely. A lot. And final question. You've already answered most of it. Why you do what you do. The going back to your why. Why you do what you do.
Okay.
Now, after 20 years, you still want to do it. Why you do what you do.
Why you do what you do. See, the thing is, when I'm servicing any customer, right, it just reminds me of how I used to think when I was in their shoes at that point of time. And at that point of time, if I put myself in their shoes, then I know that if somebody like me was there at that time, that could have really helped them progress with their decision making faster. With all the experience and learning that we've learned over the past 2 decades, if I'm not able to really add value into anybody's life, then what's the whole point? So that is one of the main reasons as to why we continue what we want to do, because I don't know, I'm sure you know it, about 8 years ago, just before COVID, me and my wife, we decided to retire completely, and then we retired for 2 years. This was just before COVID. And then we retired, we were doing nothing, and then I have come to realize that retirement is such a overrated thing, and the brain is going to go dumb very fast, and you are going to lose purpose completely. And that's when we
Restarted.
We restarted, and then we relaunched, and then that's why we live. I mean, if you are healthy, then we keep working.
Yeah.
And that way, at least we have the flexibility to contribute in whichever way we want. So that's the short answer on why we do what we do.
No, I've seen you are very active in the community in Arizona and in our different events that you show up. So really thankful to you for all the knowledge you share and the energy you bring in, and also
Thank
for
you.
being here today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Loved it.